It's September 4, 2025. It's the last day I'm going to stay here out on the ranch. Fed the cows a little earlier, and they're still going at it. It's been like an hour, and they're just still chewing apart that bale, trying to get to the inside green stuff. And I was talking to the cows out here while I was hanging out, and they didn't understand this where I'm at. So I thought I'd make a video, explain it better. Maybe people that watch this video will follow me here. What I'm filming here now is the valley that I'm in. It's the Willamette Valley. And I'm in Springfield, Oregon, which is just above in altitude from Eugene, Oregon, which brings me to this map I put down here. And I'm down here in Eugene. And Eugene is the edge of the great glacial floodplains. And this light blue area is the floodplain. The little blue line is the Willamette River. So I'm in Eugene, and the Willamette River is nearby. And I'm just over here getting into this mountain. That's what I was filming earlier. These are the two sides of the valley, the Willamette Valley. Actually, over here is Mohawk Creek, which feeds into the Mackenzie River, which is over here, and not shown on the map. But then the Mackenzie dumps into the Willamette River, and the Willamette River is the dark blue line that's going all the way up to Portland, Oregon, and out to sea. This is the output of the Columbia River too, which makes me zoom out to the full map here of the glacial floodplain. All of this light blue is not water today. This light blue is when the floods occurred back maybe 13,000 years ago. This Willamette River was overcome by the floods, which all came from up here. Way back in the day, there was an ice dam that would form here and block up the water. The dark blue is the glacial Lake Missoula. Glacial Lake Missoula would fill up. I was here earlier last week in Missoula, Montana, and I filmed the lines on the sides of the mountains of the glacial lake, which may be 1,000 feet deep. All of this dark blue is not there today. Same thing. That lake was held back by this dam, and every 15 to maybe 50 to 80 years, this dam would be overcome, would break, and all of this blue area would get filled in. That's what the light blue represents, is the flood that would occur within 2 days. All of this would fill up, including the Willamette Valley, where I'm at right now. And I'm just on the edge of the flood. So if I was a caveman or an indigenous Indian that lived here back then, and they told us stories of floods, periodic floods, I would have been right on the fringe. I would have been the smart Indian right on the edge of the flood zone, because my grandfather probably told me about the great floods that would occur. I basically toured this route, and I say basically because I didn't go all the way up here. I did see the Missoula area and evidence that there was a Great Lake. That was right after I came from Yellowstone Park, which is down here. All of this area where my hand is was very mountainous. It's still mountainous today. And of course, you got the Yellowstone volcano, which is really 7,000 feet. And even below here, you've got the Teton Mountains, which 13,000 feet, Grand Teton. And that's the way we came. We came through here and over the Teton Mountains to get into Idaho. We crossed down, getting out of the mountains. In here, we stayed in Wallowa Lake after crossing these mountains. We crossed the Snake River, which is right here, from Lewistown, Idaho, to Clarkston, Washington, which is kind of a funny pair of cities because Lewis and Clark made that same crossing, and they also followed the Columbia River. Many of the paths, the Nez Perce path, some of the ancient indigenous people's path, the Indians that lived around here, that was a known pathway to get out here to the rivers and the Columbia River. And after that, we toured. We went down out of the mountains into Pendleton, and we followed the path of Lewis and Clark and stopped at several places. We saw the Cascades, the Columbia River Gorge, and we saw the largest waterfall in North America, Multnomah Falls. That's right here. And this gorge is huge. Why? Because it's a narrow point when all of this floodwater came in here and gouged the walls of the Columbia River Gorge to create that. It's all scoured of topsoil. There's very little indigenous people evidence here because it's been washed away. Every 15 to 80 years, this would get washed out. Down here in Eugene and down here in Pendleton, some of the great tribes are exhibiting museums, and I learned about the oral tradition of the great floods, and some Indians still have these stories passed down word of mouth after that many generations. Quite impressive. And we're finishing up. We're now, after all of that, we've made our way through Portland, and we're down in Eugene, Oregon, which is the end of the Willamette Valley. And we're basically concluding my tour of the glacial floodplain and where the glacial lake was located. Very interesting. I think this is a whole fascinating thing that scientists have figured out, geologists have figured out. So kudos to those smart people that researched these soils, that saw the evidence in Missoula, saw the way the gorge looks here in the Columbia River, and the way these basins look, and these channel line effects that are on the ground. Very good job to all of them, and I'm done here on the farm. One last look at the Willamette River. From here, we're going to go back east. It's basically my furthest point on my trip, and we're going to go head to Boise, Idaho. So we're going to, in the morning, we're leaving Eugene, and we're going to go to Idaho, which is over here. We're going to have to cross all the way the entire state of Oregon. We're going to be done with this part of the world. We're going to go off the bottom of the map there and go check out Santa Fe. We're going to go to Grand Mesa, Colorado, which is the largest flat top mountain in the world. So I'm excited to see that. We're going to be going here in the fall, but in the winter, I'm told the temperature rarely goes above 0, and they get 300 inches of snow per year. So we're going to go visit that place, Santa Fe, and then go cross the desert. So more videos as we get back, going back east and back off the map. Done with our tour of the glacial lakes. Thanks.